up, guys? It's Craig with Alive Outside. I'm alone today. John is up at home. I'm in my backyard camp, and I want to do a video for you today, fairly comprehensive, about how to hike and backpack with a bad back. When I was about 22 years old, I started to have some major pain developing in my lower spine, my lumbar back, and went to the doctors a bunch of times. Finally, they decided to do an MRI, and they found multiple levels of herniated discs and degenerative disc disease, which is fairly common. Millions of people have it. It's not actually a disease. They do call it that, but it's basically the discs lose their ability to retain water. So you start to degenerate, your disc spaces collapse, and yeah, it's pretty painful. Fast forward 19 years later, I've had 6 spine surgeries in my lumbar region, 2 rods, 4 bolts, surgical wire, and a cage all holding me together for multiple levels in my lumbar spine. Most recently, I'm starting to develop more degeneration in another herniated disc in my thoracic spine, which is right in the middle of my back, and it's absolutely, it kills me. It's not good. So I can safely say, without exaggeration, that for the last 19 years, I haven't experienced one single day without some level of back pain. So I think some of the most important parts about anybody dealing with chronic pain isn't just taking care of yourself physically, but it's taking care of yourself mentally. I mean, it affects you emotionally, mentally. There's been years over the last 2 decades where I've had like bouts of depression because I'm just constantly in pain. I can't do the things I want. I've turned very angry at times, where I spent phases of my life just an angry person, like a dog that's injured and just wants to bite everybody, strictly because I'm in pain all the time. And what I found is that you can't let it get to you. You have to learn to cope with it. You have to find a way to work with it and work around it and still be able to do the things you want to do in life. Backpacking, camping, hiking, that's one of the things I love to do. So I've developed a system of things that I do when I go on multi-day hikes, which is typically what I do. It's usually multi-day hikes. And you'd be surprised, because a lot of ultralight backpackers are going to cringe because I carry a lot of weight. And I'll explain the reason why in a little bit. But counter to what you would think, I carry a big pack with me. This is a Kelty Coyote 80. It stores a ton of stuff. I've had this thing ranging from 25 pounds up to over 40 pounds, depending on what hikes we're doing and where we're going and what I'm planning on doing while I'm there. But I'm going to get right into it and start with the basics and work our way up through hiking, then getting to base camp, processing firewood, and finding a way to sleep and still be comfortable. So if you're out there and you think that you can't do it because your back hurts, and a lot of people experience this, you can. You just need to be careful. You need to listen to yourself. You need to take precautions along the way, and be mindful. So one of the first things I want to start with are shoes. You wouldn't think this makes a big difference with back pain, but it makes a significant difference. When I first started hiking last year, first started in the season, the first hike I did was about 17 miles. It was a pretty brutal hike through the White Mountains, and I had these low-top, keen hikers that I thought were going to perform really well, and they didn't. So I've moved on to something higher, something that supports my ankle. These are my winter boots. Obviously, there's like 2 feet of snow out here right now. But my summer boots do the same thing. They come up over my ankle and really support my ankle. Now, the reason for that is when you're walking on unstable ground and you're going over rocks and whatever else there is, roots and all that stuff, you need support on your ankles, because you twist your foot and you turn certain ways and you drop down and you go up, and you don't realize it at the time, but your entire body is tightening up when that happens. You got 30 pounds on your back and you're supporting that weight. There's an extra 30 pounds of pressure going into stabilizing your foot without support here, and that's really dangerous. You don't realize it till the day moves on that you've actually strained your back simply by not having the right shoes on. So look for something high top, something that stabilizes your ankle and really gives a lot of good support. Now the next thing would be your clothing, and this really applies only really in the winter time or the cold temperatures, because you want to have that layering effect. And you know, there's a lot of videos out there that will talk about why you would wear layers in the winter. Basically, you don't want to sweat, because when you sweat, you get wet, it breaks into hypothermia. But it's important for when you're dealing with pain, especially in your back, because as you get cold, if you're not properly dressed, or you sweat and then go through a cold spell afterwards, your body tightens up. You don't have the right sleeping bag, you don't have the right sleeping pad, you're laying down at night, you're freezing, you're tightened up, every muscle is being activated, and you wake up and you're in tons of pain. So dress appropriately. Tons of layers in cold weather so you can regulate your temperature as best as possible. Get a good quality bag, sleeping bag that will take you down lower than the temperature that you'd expect. It's better to be warm than to be cold when you're dealing with pain. So another thing I never go without is trekking poles. Some people think they don't need them, a lot of people don't, but if you have back issues, I would recommend them more than anything. They help stabilize you, especially for water crossings. You figure you have 30 pounds on your back, you're moving off to the side, you're taking big steps. These things, when they're adjusted correctly, really help to give you that support that you need. Now, just some word of advice. There's two types of locking systems when it comes to trekking poles. This is a twist lock, where you loosen it and then tighten it back up to pull it at a certain length. I don't recommend these. I can't stand it. I had this for maybe 2 hikes and I was done with it. Reason being, in the summer when your hands are sweating, you try to loosen or tighten this thing and you're just not getting a grip. It's not going anywhere. In the winter, it's the same thing. You got gloves on, you try to loosen, tighten this, it's just gonna slide. You take your hands out of your gloves, your hands are sweating. I don't like them. Maybe you can set it and forget it, sort of thing, but you have to adjust the length of your trekking poles as you're going up different terrain, which I'll explain in a second. This type of trekking pole is the one I use now. You can do this with winter gloves on, even with mittens on if you had to. And it's very easy. You unlock this clamp, bring it out to its point, lock it back down, and you're done. Now, there's a lot of videos out there that will explain how to properly use a trekking pole and the reasons behind all that, but I'll give you the basics of it right now. Ideally, you want your pole to leave your arm at a 90-degree angle. So when you set this down into the ground, your arm should be at a 90-degree angle right here for most situations. As you're going up a hill, you want to extend it shorten it a little bit, because you're raising it up to an incline. And as you're going down a hill or descending, you want to make this a little longer. One thing that's very important that a lot of people don't realize is when you wrap your hand through the loops on a trekking pole, you want to go up through it and then come back down. There's a couple reasons for that. One is you have a ton of support right now. My hand is locked in there, it's not going down. The other reason, if you fall, you take a dive, especially going down a hill, and you land like this on the ground, your hand is open and you're not going to hurt yourself. If you were to go through here from the top, one, it's not supported very well, my hand can slip all the way down. But two, if you fall this way, you could twist this up pretty good and you'll end up busting your thumb pretty bad. But it's up and down. So when I'm walking with these trekking poles, especially going up a hill, I put this about half a body length in front of me. I don't take long strides with this. I don't stretch it way out. I just keep it maybe 6-8 inches in front of me. Do the other one at the same time and walk up that incline slowly. And I'm using this thing as a railing. I'm driving it into the ground. I'm using it to lift my arm weight, to lift my body up. Now on the other side, when I'm coming down a hill, or down an incline, a decline rather, there's two ways I do it. One way is I just lean on this and just let my hand kind of take the weight as I bring myself down. I don't want any impact on my joints. And that's not only for back pain, that's just common sense stuff. Well, you can also put your hand right on the top of it like this and use that as your weight. But I'm coming down, I'm using both of these things as a railing, whether I'm walking up, walking down, or walking straight forward. I'm relying on these to disperse the weight of my pack and the weight of my body evenly across 4 points rather than 2 points that are just on my feet. Now the next big thing you need to be concerned about is your pack. This is a big pack, and there's a reason behind that. I like to be comfortable. I need to be comfortable. When I've been hiking 8-10 miles in a day over some pretty serious terrain with a really bad back, when I get to camp, I need to have the things I need to be comfortable. I need a good chair to sit in. I need a good hammock to lay in. I want to be comfortable if for some chance I'm sleeping on the ground. I got a good pad with me. All the amenities that make it easy for me to process wood and all that kind of stuff. So there's a couple things about a backpack that you want to consider. A lot of people kind of think it's crazy that I would have the injuries I do and carry a 30-40 pound pack 20 miles through the woods. But the truth is, it doesn't hurt my back because I pack the pack properly and I wear the pack properly. The best thing you can do is go to like an REI, Cabela's, somewhere that specializes in packs, and they'll fit a pack right to your body for you. The best way to do it, because you go offline and you go online rather, go to Amazon, get something you think might work, kind of feels right but not that right. People at REI will walk you right through what to do and how to get one that fits properly to your torso size. That's just critical. Again, you can go to YouTube and just put in how to properly pack a backpack, and you'll find a lot of videos on this, but the primary rule is everything heavy is low and towards the inside. So basically you want to keep the heavy stuff pressed tightly against your body. If it were on the outside, what happens is the pack wants to lay back. It's not only more unstable as you're walking around, but it wants to fall backwards a lot, and you're fighting that. So pack your pack properly. Check out some videos that really get into depth on that. That's a key thing. Now when you're putting your pack on, you want to bring it up to your hip, let it sit right on your hip, and then swing it around. Don't muscle it up off the ground and try to whip it over yourself. You get your shoulders on, and then be sure that your waist strap is sitting on top of your hips. So this way, when I tighten this up, pull this around, the weight of my pack, this 30-pound backpack, is actually sitting on my hips, not on my back. It's not weighing my shoulders down, it's not crushing my spine, it's putting no pressure on my back right now. The only thing these shoulder straps do right now is keep this from falling backwards. That's it. So cinch yourself in, put the weight on your legs, not your back. Everything's going down right now. Tighten in your chest harness, pull these tight, get it right up close to you because you don't want it to be wobbling around and being all wonky when you're trying to go down the trail. Then you start using back muscles to hold it steady. But if you have it tight to your body, you have it packed properly, using your trekking poles, you're going to be okay. So let's say we're done hiking for the day. We found a place where we want to camp. We got some good trees for a hammock, or on the ground if that's where you want to be. I'll go through what I do. The first thing I do is get my pack off. And there's a couple ways you can do this. I always try to hang it from a tree. This is, I'm at my camp, so I have a stick with paracord on here that I use to hang my pack all the time. You can grab a branch off a tree, break it, lean it against another tree, and hang it from here. The other thing you can do is bring a bungee cord with you, wrap it around the tree and just hang it from that, or you can use paracord and a stick. You just take paracord, you wrap it around the tree, you tie a stick through it, and then you use the stick as your handle to hang your backpack on. This is just to make the point that I don't want to set this 30-40 pounds on the ground, have to bend over for every item that I need that's inside of it, and then lift it all back up off the ground tomorrow. So I take it off my back, bring it over to wherever it is that I'm going to hang it, and my pack is hanging at a decent height that I'm not bending over trying to hurt myself finding it. Now, like I said, the first thing I want to do when I get to camp is get my pack off, hang it from a tree, put it at a good level. The next thing is I want to sit down. There's a number of options of finding a comfortable way to sit down. For me, I carry a hammock for a hammock chair. This is by far the number one thing that I prefer over anything. And all this is a $3 piece of ripstop nylon with a couple loops sewn through it, some paracord. Now the way this works is you would go and cut down a few trees, preferably standing dead, nothing live, because we know we want to preserve the forest, right? So you make a tripod, hang the top of the paracord from the top, let it drape down, and then you have a stick that goes to the bottom of this, and you have yourself a hammock chair. John and I will make an extensive video that shows exactly how to do this at some point, really efficiently. We've been using these for a while. In fact, you can see sparks from the fire over the years of turned this thing to Swiss cheese, but it's ripstop nylon, so it holds up pretty well. I'm telling you, man, when you get to camp and you sit in this thing, you're done. You don't even want to get up. It's so comfortable. You can lay back. You can make any kind of adjustment with this to determine what incline you want or how far you want it off the ground. These things are awesome. I would put one in my living room if my wife would let me. Definitely the #1 way to go when backpacking. When you're done and you get to camp, this is how you sit down. So let's say you get to camp and you're in a place where you can't cut trees down, where it's against the rules, or there are no trees around, or you're just too tired to make a hammock chair, which really isn't that bad. I also have a backpack chair. There's tons of different models and kinds. This one's from Sunyear. I'll show you real quick how it sets up. So this is the Sunyear ground chair. This weighs about 2 pounds, somewhere around there. I'll put the link to it in the description. For me, it's worth carrying. If I know I'm going somewhere without trees, or I know I'm going to be too tired to make a hammock chair rather, I'll bring this thing with me. It has these discs on the bottom so it doesn't sink into the dirt or the snow, and it really works pretty well. What I like about this is it's higher off the ground. I also have the Helinox ground chair. This thing is about a pound, roughly a pound, so it's lighter, but it's $100. I think this actually was $110. This one was about $30 and it weighs about 2 pounds. And this is more comfortable to me. The reason being, the ground chair, it's only about 8 inches off the ground and it's impossible to get in and out of with a bad back. You can see in this chair, once you get in it, the way you lean back in it, it's actually very comfortable. Still a little bit of an issue getting in and out of if you're sore or anything, but this is I could sit here all night too. Nothing beats a hammock chair, but this definitely comes in a close second. I don't even want to get up. So you get to camp, you get your chair set up, you're a little bit relaxed, you get your bearings, and now it's time for a fire. I bring 3 things to process fire with me, to process the wood for a fire. I bring a folding saw. This is a Silky Gomboy. I think these are one of the best saws out there. Probably do a review on this. One thing to be aware of is it's just a pull saw, what's called a pull stroke saw. So it only cuts on the pull. If you try to jab it into the tree, it'll bend the blade. So it takes a little getting used to, but this thing cuts like a sawzall. Next is an axe. This is a Gransford Brooks carpenter's axe, and I love this thing. The last is a knife, which is an SE5. John made this sheath for me. It's a dangler, and it has a Kydex sheath and lining inside, so it snaps in really well. But what I like most about this blade is it's about a 1/4 inch thick, so if you're batoning wood, which I'll show you in a second, this works really, really well for splitting it. So if I were to go and find a tree that I wanted to chop down, this is alive, I wouldn't cut this one, but if I found, let's say this is a standing dead, one of the things people do a lot of is they'll cut it right from the bottom. So whether you're working with a saw or an axe, you're down, you're hunched over, you're swinging something heavy, or you're pulling this thing back and forth. You don't have to do that. If your back is sore, you don't want to hurt yourself, go at a height that's comfortable. Just start cutting this thing right up at this level, so it's nice and easy for you. There's no reason you have to go all the way to the bottom. So I always also carry with me a closed cell foam pad. If you sitting down for a snack or something on a log, a down tree while you're hiking, you can just put this thing down and sit your butt on it. You're not going to get wet. A little more comfortable, but primarily I use this for a kneeling pad. Thermarest actually sells a sit pad which folds up like their Z-Rest sleeping pads. It's made just same thing, but it's like $30. This I found in the trash somewhere. So let's assume you cut the tree down, you broke it up into manageable sizes, and by the way, you don't have to get this small with it. Save yourself a lot of energy. Cut these into like 4 footers, burn your fire in the middle, and as the wood starts to be consumed in the middle, just push the ends in. You save yourself half the cuts. But for sake of an example, let's say this is from a tree you cut down. This is one I did a couple months ago. Now again, I got 3 tools, right? I got a saw, my knife, and my axe. If I were to only take one, I would definitely take the axe. It's the most versatile, most powerful, and this being Gransford Brook, it's a crazy, awesome axe. So rather than working away on it and try to kill myself stacking this thing up, I'm kneeling down on the ground. I have it up on something high, preferably a fallen tree. Like, you're not going to have this cutting stump in the middle of the woods. I brought this down to my camp. But if you have a down tree, work on that so it's at a good height. That way I'm not hunched over, I'm not banging on the ground, I'm not hurting my back at all. This is up nice and high. I'm not going to try to swing this open and crack it, especially because it's only a 19-inch handle, but even if it was a bigger axe, it's going to be painful for me to swing an axe full swing and chop all the way through this. So what you want to do is grab yourself a branch. This is just a piece of hardwood I happen to have from my fire pit. But you want to do what's called batoning. I can do this with either my knife, which is too short for this piece of wood, and again, why I would always bring the axe over anything else. And I'm just going to put the axe in at the top, and I'm just going to baton it through. Next, rather than again starting at the top, you could do it this way, or you can just go this, like this, and baton it if you want, or try to chop it. Either way, there's a natural line in the wood. Look for stuff like that. And you just keep going and break it down, break it down. But the point is, I'm in a comfortable position. I have a comfortable working height, working space. I'm not stretching, I'm not pounding the hell out of my axe. I'm working comfortably, and I'm not hurting myself. So lastly, you have your fire going, you're sitting in your comfortable chair, your pack is up off the ground, you haven't hurt yourself yet, you're still doing pretty well. Now you have to sleep. 8-10 hours laying somewhere out in the woods can really do some damage. I can sleep on the ground if I have a comfortable bedding, if I have dry leaves in the fall, pine boughs in the summer, or snow in the winter. I can do pretty well like that, but I love more than anything sleeping in a hammock. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions about that with a hammock, that some people think with a bad back you're just going to hurt yourself. What's usually happening is people are sleeping in the hammock wrong. You see how the bottom of the hammock comes down like a banana, and a lot of people think when you sleep in a hammock, you get in it and you sleep parallel with your ridge lines that are holding this thing together. And that's not the case. Ideally, when you get in a hammock, you want to turn your body diagonally. So what's happening is you're flattening out the fabric. Instead of having your feet way up in the middle here, your feet are kind of hanging right off to the edge. Your head is up on this end, and you're splitting the bend, if you will, from the hammock, and you have a flatter space to lay in. Shug actually has some awesome videos. The guy's like the godfather of hammocks. I'll put a link to his YouTube channel if you want to watch that. He's pretty good at getting to people, and he's awesome and entertaining to watch. So check out Shug's channel if you want to learn how to sleep in a regular hammock, traditional hammock. But me, I don't sleep in a hammock like this much often. And the reason I don't sleep in a hammock, traditional hammock like that, is because John, like I showed you, he's done a lot of leather work, he does a lot of sewing, he makes the hammock chairs. He also made me this hammock. This is a flat, high tension hammock. It's his own design. This thing's like sleeping in bed. You can see how flat it is. And it's under some really high tension. There's a basket at the end to put stuff in. But that's the way to go for me. So again, I really hope this helped you guys. I hope I didn't leave anything out. If I did, just leave a comment and I'll try to answer it. My intention is to take what I've learned over the years and try to help you out, so save you some time and energy and get you back into backpacking if you once did it and thought you couldn't. The biggest thing here in dealing with chronic pain is taking care of yourself physically and taking care of yourself mentally. Mental wellness is key. Get outside, enjoy the forest, enjoy the woods, experience it at night, look up at the stars, think about things, expand your mind, spend some time doing the things you love without being hindered by the pain you have to deal with. I hope this helps some people today. And again, if you have suggestions for me, just put them in the comments below, and maybe you can teach me something I haven't learned yet. It might be able to help me out too. Thanks a lot, guys, and be well.